You're listening to the Indie Echo Podcast, a showcase of independent music and the artists that make it. I'm Jordan, producer at High Five Music. If you're a fan of crispy beats, smooth bass, and heartfelt wide-ranging vocals, you will love today's guest, Zamar Yauw.
Well, my name is Zamar Yauw, and my name means the Zamar is actually Hebrew for to make music. It's in Hebrew for to make music, and then Yauw, which is my last name, is an acronym, and it's spelled Y-A-U-W, and it stands for "You Are Ultimately Worthy." So together it's, to make music, you are ultimately worthy. Now, my last name is also my brand. And I tell people all the time, even though it says you are ultimately worthy, I want people to understand that, you are ultimately worthy of love, happiness, success, and everything else in between. Just telling people, hey, you are worthy. You are worthy of anything you put your mind to. So it's a bit of a positive feel for me. I'm a very positive guy, and on the flip side of that, whenever I say it, when I'm singing it, y'all, it means joy and happiness. So that's why when you hear it, you smile, and you're just like, hey man, something about that makes me want to smile. You know what I'm saying? So I utilize it a lot in my shows, because I'll be up on stage and I'll go, "Are you ready to have a good time? Say yeah!" And everybody would scream out like, "Yeah!" Yes. So it's all positive, man. I'm also from the Bahamas. Like you said earlier when you were telling me about your parents, which I thought that was very unique, because Bahamas is one of those places that you go and you meet good people. My culture, I don't know what it is, but it could be the water. I don't know. But we are brought up to just love one another. It's like you love your neighbor. You might not know the person, but you just have respect and love for the person that you come in contact with, until they prove otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So we're very friendly, and when people go there, they visit there, and we make sure they understand what it means to have a good time and to be treated right. So yes, my whole family is from the Bahamas. Just like you, my parents are actual musicians. My father is a musician. He plays piano. He sings. He plays like almost every instrument. He's went to college for it. I've actually listened to him do numerous recitals and all these different things. He's a genius, musical genius. That's where I get it from, man. I got a family, man. That's where I get it from. That's my pops, man. My mom actually went in college. She went to college in Jamaica, and she did opera.
Okay.
So yeah, so she has a powerful voice as well. So I feel like, the way I sing, I don't know how it ties into the opera. Maybe it's the way how it could be how loud my voice is naturally. Like how I project it. Mm-hmm. It can have something to do with her. So I'll give her that too.
Are they still making music? Still playing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, my mom isn't. She's just there. Support. She's more in the healthcare field, but my father is a musician. He's been a musician my whole life. Ever since he was 19, he's never picked up a 9-to-5. He's always been a musician, and that's why I look up to him, because for him to, for us to be a family of 6, and he was able to take care of us, wow. And we had everything we need, and he's done a great, phenomenal job. I have to commend him on being a true musician.
That's amazing.
This is passion.
That's tough. Yeah.
So, yes. So some of the people that I grew up listening to, I grew up in the church, and my background, my grandmother and my grandfather is a pastor, and my grandmother, being married to a pastor, everything was sort of traditional. So musically, when it came to songs, it was like gospel, and I would say the likes of Kim Burrell. You ever heard of Kim Burrell?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so she's known for her runs. She has a lot of acrobatic cool runs, and which is very hard to do. So I picked up a little tricks and stuff like that from her. And you have someone like let me see, what was Smokey Norfolk? I don't know if you know Smokey Norfolk. This is gospel. I'm not sure if you're familiar with gospel.
Not too much.
But these are gospel, big gospel names. And then it actually rolled over into R&B when I heard R. Kelly. I know you know R. Kelly now.
Of course.
So he has his bad side of what he does, personally, but which I don't care too much about. The guy was phenomenal in music. I can't take that from him. The first song I heard was "Step in the Name of Love," and when I heard that song, dude, I don't know, it was something about the bass, the foundation of the song, and the groove of it, and then his storytelling. It sparked something in me, man. And I was like, you know what? How hard can this be? I think I can do something like this. I grew to love it. So I started, writing songs, writing little stories and everything like that. And I thought it was okay at first. I was just now learning it. Mm-hmm. Then it ventured off into T-Pain. So I know you know T-Pain too, man. Mm-hmm. So T-Pain, which is a phenomenal artist, man. He's very different, and he truly took Autotune to the next level. I truly believe he started the next generation when it came to this Autotune stuff. But I learned through listening to him, I learned how to be different and original. Paying attention to the way that he constructed his music. Like the melodies, how they change, the different melodies that he uses is not, straight traditional or whatever. I practiced that, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to implement that to my storytelling. And I started to, ever since then, I started to work on my own sound, how to be different, how to not sound like the next man, So, people like that. And then you if you want to go old school, of course, you got Michael Jackson, you have the Isley Brothers. When it comes to that soulful R&B. I'm an old soul, by the way. So, the people like that, and when you think of the Caribbean side of me, which is, back to my culture, you got the Bob Marleys, you have Kevin Little. I don't know if you know Kevin Little. He did the song "Turn Me On, Turn Me On."
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, that one. So, I mean, I am truly motivated and inspired by many artists, many different genres as well. I believe I can learn a thing or two from everything I hear. So I love music in general.
Rolling down the street in my car, y'all. Doing a thing that thing go, y'all.
And T-Pain is an interesting one because the auto-tune is definitely just a style because he can actually sing.
He can actually sing. Most people don't know that. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know that.
Have you seen his Tiny Desk concert?
Yes. Yes,
So good.
I thought that was crazy. And did you see the one where I don't know if it was the Tiny Desk concert, but it was one where he had a violin playing with him. He was like in this beige room.
Yeah, I think so.
Piano.
Yeah.
Like he stretched them notes out, man, and I was just like, no, this dude is a singer. You gotta give it to him. Like, he took Autotune and purposefully, created something tasteful. And that's why I respect his Autotune. You know what I'm saying? Like, Autotune is amazing. It's the generation thing now. But I felt like nobody has used it the way he has till this day,
And it's not, because people think it's just like, press, make professional button and it makes it into a professional vocal. No, you really do have to sing, and the Autotune, helps carry the notes a little better. That's just all.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Much respect to artists out there that puts their all into their craft and works very hard. But man, when I tell you, I don't think they utilize the Autotune, or they really understand what the Autotune is really for. It's not much of a what is it called, a crutch, but it's something to just give a different vibe of a sound. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's some songs I can't think of right now, but there's some songs that I'll look at and say, okay, I love that Autotune. I see the way they used it. It makes sense. But others, I'm kind of like, oh man, I can't take too much Autotune. Yeah. Honestly.
Where was the transition period of you, writing these, trying out these different songs that you're writing based on, inspiration by R. Kelly and things like that, and then you saying, okay, I'm going to make something out of it? Where was that transition?
Okay. So like I said, from, hearing that one song, Step Named Love, I started writing my own songs. I started, trying to piece them together and see how to make it make sense. The transition really was, I believe my dad truly believed in my sound once I really started showing it. Because for the longest, I didn't express that I wanted to be an artist. I didn't express that, this is something I wanted to do professionally, because I was shy about it. It was something new. And I guess one day, after singing in the choir for a while, I told myself, I said, you know what, I'm gonna give a go at it, And it's crazy because, interestingly, being with the like having that religious background, it was very strict. Like, my grandparents didn't allow me to go out much places. They told me, hey, don't do this, don't do that. It was kind of like one of those things, those cliches where they're like, you're going to hell, like, like that type of deal. So, for the longest, I was scared to, and then I told myself, okay, well, if you have all these phenomenal singers, all these people out here that really aren't quote unquote religious, and they're making this music, but we're listening to the music, we know who they are, if they're able to do it, then why shouldn't I be able to, And then I thought about it and I said, well, you know what? Because of the pressure, I said, God, listen, if I'm gonna do music, I'll make a promise to you. I said, when I do my music, I won't curse in my music, and that was something that I made a pact with God and said, hey, if you allow me to have, a beautiful voice, and you give me a platform where I could sing R&B, I could sing things of the world, I just won't curse. Then, let's make an agreement like that, So that's what I did. And after a while, my pops heard it and he was just like, oh my God, like, son, you really have something here. Your voice is different. It's touching. It's funny because most people would say, when they're listening to me, they're like, hey man, you sound like an angel, man. Like, something about your voice is heavenly. And I always laugh at that because I'm just like, because of my religious background or whatever, and it's funny. I never shun it down. I always embrace it, and I go, well, hey, listen, I mean, without God, I wouldn't have it, So.
how it feels good to be loved again. Just close your eyes and you will see our real love. Real love. Real love. You can tell
So at that time, how were you recording your demos? Were you GarageBand, piano? What were you doing?
I actually had a phone where I just recorded everything on this phone. And like it's so funny, each phone has like a million records on it. So I started off using like my phone, and then I got this little recorder. Back then I got this little recorder that I was holding most of my songs on. And then from there, I finally got into the studio. I want to say my senior year of high school. I finally got into the studio, and that's when I heard myself on a track for the first time. And the producer, luckily I was able to meet a phenomenal producer, engineer, my first go around. You know what I'm saying? Most people, they have to kind of go through a couple, duds here and there and try to figure their way out. But, I was able to meet a good one who taught me a lot of the proper etiquettes of using the studio, how to sing in the mic, how to pay attention to your tone, how to have like one headphone off your ear so you can hear yourself, all those different things. So, once I got in there, I love the way I sound, and funny thing, I never forget to tell people this. When I first started in the studio, I've always had this nasal problem. I'll talk like this, hey, I've always had that. So one day, while we were singing, and it sounded good, but it was definitely noticeable. The producer was like, hey man, how about you close your nose and try to talk and try to sing as normal as possible, just by holding your nose. And then he said, you know what, instead of trying to get rid of that, because I was, slightly, cautious about it, and he said, instead of trying to change it or try to get rid of it, utilize it, maybe make your sound out of it, see what happens. And eventually, after doing that a couple of times, within a year or so, I sounded different. I had like this crazy tone, and people loved it. So I was just like, oh my God, like I like this. This is cool. This is something that's different. I could do little weird stuff with my voice when I move it, and that's literally how it started my sound.
That's cool. So it's like taking your negative, I guess, physical ability and making it into a positive. That's really cool.
Positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all. Like that.
Yeah.
And does that carry over when you play live as well?
Yes. And here's the funny thing. I don't understand what it is yet, but many people said, you know what, you actually sound better live. Like, no matter how well I sing in the studio, how well it comes out or whatever, they always tell me, man, you sound way better live. And I'm like, I don't know why it's like that. And I try to capture it in the studio. I'm always listening and I'm trying to figure it out. Like, how can I make myself sound better in the studio? Like I think I'm singing as natural as possible. But, that's something we keep running into. They're like, you sound better live. Like, your song's phenomenal. But when you open your mouth and we're there in person, it's a whole nother deal. So, we're trying to figure that out. Maybe it could be the way I'm recording.
Could be the just feeding off the energy of the audience.
It could be that too.
Understand, I'm a man, even the strongest cry too. Truth be told, hell yeah, I let a good one go. 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 I let a good good one go?
Good One is actually a single off my my current project, Lovers Boulevard. And I was saying that most artists, when they have different songs on a project, usually it's songs that they feel are filler-ins. Especially if you have more than 5 songs on the project, you're kind of like, okay, well, you know what? It's hard to come up. It's not so easy to come up with consistent music throughout your whole project. So if you have something, they say, oh, that sounds okay. I'll put that on there and whatnot. But this project, Lovers Boulevard, I feel like each song had its own story, and I actually spend a decent amount of time on each individual song. And Good One, was just one of those songs that I felt was, like, it was something different than what people talk about usually, like on the radio. It wasn't really about sex or anything in particular like that, but it was actually about losing somebody good in your life, or vice versa, to the person that might experience the other side of it, which is being the good one somebody else lost, and Good One is basically that's really it in a nutshell. Is saying like, hey man, we all have relationships that we wish we hadn't let go, but due to certain circumstances in our life, we had to let them go. We have to make a choice. Sometimes it's not always a bad choice, but it's a memorable one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's
very relatable. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, even though when I created the song, it's funny because I actually, the initial idea of the song came from a friend of mine who actually produced the song. Speedy, his name is Speedy. His artist name, producer name is Speedy, and he was like, "Hey man, listen, I feel like you've been through this same situation like I have. We might have a different story, but I believe we can come up with a song that can best relate that, relay that message." And as soon as he gave it to me, I was like, "Oh my God, yes, I have been through that before." And I wrote it literally that day. So after that, and when he sent me the beat, we were going back and forth with the production of it. I was like, man, the emotion of it, has the same effect, just as well as the lyrics. So it turned out really well. I really, really liked the song.
It really did, and that goes with a lot of the songs on your EP as well. It's just very well produced and like smooth. Just the parts that are punchy really hit hard, and then the bass and just really deep vibes. I really like that.
Thank you, man. Yeah, he's.
Did he produce the whole thing, or is just?
Yes, he produced the foundation of it. Yes, and then I had another friend of mine, which is also another awesome producer named Soka, come in, and he helped with the drums and a few of the different sounds, and we sort of just as a collective just brought it all together. I felt like 3 heads are better than one. One person can see something a certain way when it comes down to a song, but if you have 2 other phenomenal people in the room, they're gonna put their input, and they're gonna show a different angle. They're gonna show a different light to the song. So that's really what happened. So yeah.
So did you have more? How many songs? You have 7 songs on the EP. Did you have more than that, and you kind of narrowed it down?
The crazy part is, yes, I actually did have more songs on there. But, I told myself, well, listen, if I'm going to create this EP, and this is something that I want to have a focus as far as the market goes, as far as, the message that I'm pushing, I want to be specific when it comes down to what I'm talking about in this EP, and I don't want there to be too many songs to where it ends up becoming a distraction. A lot of artists don't realize that the more songs that you put out there, if you're putting out an album or if you're putting out different things, can be a distraction. Sometimes more of a distraction than a help. So when I came up with this EP, we started off with I believe it was 12 songs, that we were going to choose, from. And we started narrowing down, and I started to ask myself, I said, you know what? Which songs are going to give the best message? And they have to be completely different. Each song had to be completely different. I wouldn't want a song to cut on and the listener moves on to the next one and says, okay, this one sounds like the last one. Okay, we get it. It's about love. It's about this and that. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. And then it ends up, devaluing the song, what I'm saying, as a whole. So definitely with this project, I made sure that, I made sure it was a tight focus. And I felt like 7 songs was a little bit pushing it, but at the same token, we delivered what we needed to.
Yeah, I love that, because it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, because I had someone on here who had an EP that was a story, start to finish. Each song was part of the story. And so yours is a condensed version of that, where each one tells a different story. So that's pretty cool.
And it's crazy because even though it tells a different story, they're still connected somehow. I tell people all the time, this project, it's telling chapters of a story within a relationship. If you notice, each song, I believe many people can relate to, because they're like, wow, yeah, I've been through this, I've been through that. This is another way to look at, this is another way to look at a part in the relationship, So it definitely did have a story. It wasn't something that was okay, this is day 1, then this is day 3, and on forward. But it definitely had a link. They were all linked. Whoa. By the way, my music is definitely original. All of my music have been started at scratch. They have different musicians in them. So
and good one, you have a guitar solo in the background there.
Yeah. So all the different. Let me see. What's good one? Did I have? I think good one. I had the guy had played piano guitar on there. I don't think it was what was it? No, I don't think. No. I think he played that on the piano. But the other songs Real Love, definitely guitar players, electric guitar, lead guitar players, and everything like that. So, yeah.
And there's an acoustic that goes throughout Forever in Love, right?
Yes.
I love the sound of that one. It's really good.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm actually on the bass. I played the I played the bass on there, and it was a acoustic bass, and I had I actually created the riff with the song, and I had one of the guitar players play it behind me on the lead. So they played the lead on that. So yeah.
Tell me that's not how it's supposed to be. I can keep away from you, and you can keep away from me. Let's face it, we're forever in love. Forever in love. I know it might seem crazy, but baby, this is how I feel. Forever in love. Forever in love.
I feel like bass would be really fun to play, and a good transition as a drummer, you know.
It really is. It really is. Now, I must say I haven't played it as much as I should as far as practicing goes. So I'm not like crazy phenomenal. But I know if I sat down for like 4 months I'll pick it back up and just be, really good at it. But bass is fun because I feel like bass sets the tone. It sets the vibe of the song. You got the drums set the pace, and and then you have the piano sets like that mood, but the bass sets the atmosphere. It's just like, it's just, you can control so much with it, So I love bass. Most of the songs that I write, I actually write them with the melody in my head already. You know what I'm saying? So I would literally come up with the piano part, the horns, the bass, guitar, whatever. And I would be like, I would literally be like a studio in my head. And then while that's playing, I'll come and write the song on top of it. And by the time I gather that and I have the whole song down, I'll go in the studio and I'll call the musicians and I'll talk to the producer and be like, all right, it's going to go like this. And then the producer adds their extra feel or element to it, so.
Cool.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. It's fun to have your head ideas come to life like that. My favorite song on the EP, I think, is Reasons.
Reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a first. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it was a first. I think one other person told me, but for you to say that, like, I'm like, oh man, that's awesome.
It has,
awesome.
It's because of that synth lead or whatever it is. It's just a very mystical vibe. And then you don't hit the bass right away, but it comes in eventually. So I like the patience that it also brings out too.
Thank you, man. Fun fact, my dad actually played the piano for that song.
Okay.
So he played the dun, 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 dun,
Did he? Okay.
And one of my producers, Alon, came in and he was just like, all right, listen, because at first it was kind of like a classical piano. He came in and at that synth, and he had that mystical feel that you talked about. And I remember I told him, I said, you know what? I don't even want to hear bass until the hook comes in, or And I thought it would add an extra element to it. So that's funny that you said that. So that's awesome that you picked that up.
Every breath that I take is for you. When the time is right to be in my life, baby, dream come true. You're the reason why I stay. You're the reason why I still have faith. You're the reason why I believe. You're the reason why I can see.
Yeah, I love that song too, man. It's a very beautiful song, and it really pulled out my range. It definitely pulled out my range, man. Because hitting that high note, man, and that was a shocker too. That was a surprise to many people because they weren't expecting that to come in like that either. So yeah,
is that a hard one to do live?
Oh, yes, it is. If I hadn't prepared myself, yeah, that definitely is. It is. For real.
And so you just got the video out for Good Ones, right?
Yes.
And what was that? What made you want to pick that one as like a main single?
The fact that many people liked it, like that. Like the first song that they really just reached out to me about was Good One. It was Good One and Real Love. And here recently it's been Forever in Love. But Good One, a lot of the women have been really loving the song. And you can't deny
that's important.
If the women are just like, yeah. If the women are like, hey, we like that song, really, you got to give it to them because they're the ones that are going to push it the hardest, And they was like, oh my God, I love that song so much, and this and that, and I was like, oh, okay. I think I hit an emotional nerve there. So definitely, my wife was telling me, she's like, look, Zamar, that song is really good. I think that's gonna be the one. And she told me, she said, I think that's gonna be the one. And I was like, really? I was like, nah. I was like, I don't think so, man. I don't know. And here it is, YouTube. I think we're almost at 100 views, 100K views. and still pushing. So that's really good. And I performed it maybe once or twice so far, and I'm gearing to, of course, because it's about to hit radio and about to do all these different things. I'm gonna get to practicing it and really locking it down as far as performances go. So
cool. Do you like write songs for other people as well? You do like co-writes and things?
Yes, I've written things for a lot of people actually. When you think country, rock, pop, I can write it all. That's another gift of mine. From like I said, from learning that the song with the Step in the Name of Love, how to create stories, that trailed over into my ability to write all genres, and I'm definitely inspired by the people that sing different genres as well. So being able to sing really well allowed me to kind of sort of learn and sort of sing the songs from different genres that other people have sung. So that trailed over into my writing. So I'm able to write it because I can sing it. So, yeah.
Cool. Is there any particular co-write you want to shout out? Anything recent you want to plug?
Well, let's see. Okay, well, first and foremost, I want to shout out my late best friend. He actually passed away in 2019. And he was a country singer. And his name is Justin Carter. And if you look up on his YouTube, you'll see some of the songs we did, which was pretty cool. And he had a project out that I helped him with. It's funny because he actually was a rapper. And I heard him singing one day in the car, and I told him, I was like, bro, I said, you should sing country. I said, if you sing country, bro, I promise, man, it's going to work out for you, And he was like, no, man. He was so nervous about it. But we did a whole project. I did a whole album and with him. And yeah, so that was definitely one person there.
Yeah, we got to know whether coming or going. And no more wishing and hoping. No look back, got the front door open. Baby, just run. I know you wanna leave me. You said I'm bad for the heart, but too damn good for the soul now. No one said it's gonna be easy. You gotta trust that I know what I know.
Are there any dream collaborators?
Oh man. First and foremost, I'd have to say DJ Khaled. I really love DJ Khaled, man. He's a very positive vibe guy. I mean, that's like right up my alley, I am very inspired by him. I watch a lot of his videos and stuff, and I go like, man, I feel like I'm talking to like a big brother of mine or something. Like, it's the way he pushes that positive atmosphere, and it actually, the way he does that, it trickles over into his music, because you think about all of the collaborations that he have and all the people he's working with. A lot of those people have great things to say about him. They're not just talking about his ability to create music, but they talk about the things that he does for them outside of music. And I respect that all the way. And when I think of working with people, I want to work with people not only because of their musical genius in them, but I want to have good vibes, because if I have good vibes, positive energy, positive vibes, that really shows throughout the music. Most people don't realize that, but your energy really shows up in your craft, the things that you make. So DJ Khaled, of course, definitely T-Pain. That was kind of like one of them staple, the staple work that I want to pass. I want to just be able to say, hey, I worked with T-Pain. I got to give him his props and everything. He's sort of the reason. He has a part of the reason to why I am who I am today. As far as, let's see, I want to work with Sade. Sade is, she's a vibe, dude. She's a vibe, man. And I'm all about vibes. So I truly believe we can create something beautiful. Now, when we talk about new generation, a few people come to mind. I want to say Khalid. Khalid is dope. I want to say her. You know, her is a phenomenal vocalist and musician. Let's see. Funny to say this. Marshmello.
Okay.
I want to work with Marshmello. Marshmello, I am. It's crazy because I'm actually really good at creating EDM music as well. Because my voice is so melodic. Mm-hmm. I don't really have to say much. I can just do like certain notes and everything else. And I truly believe working with him, I feel like in the future, we're going to cross paths and create some really dope pop EDM type music.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to it.
Oh yeah. I got some crazy ideas, man. Crazy ideas. You know, but I know that will come later once I establish myself, you know. Because once I feel like once I hit that EDM world, it's gonna be hard to come out of it because it's so fun. So fun.
He'll be knocking on your door.
Yeah, hey, you never know. You never know, man. Another person. There's a lot of people I want to work with. I am not closed-minded. I definitely respect a lot of people in their craft. So there's a lot of people I want to work with, man. But you know, those few people that I mentioned, those are people that, you know, stick in the top of my head.
Cool.
You know.
So what is next for you? You have any releases on the horizon? What are you planning to do? More touring?
Yes. Hopefully on touring. We have some things in the works right now. My team and I, and a lot of people are reaching out. You know, a lot of radio stations are getting ready to set up, you know, the campaign process. And of course, you know, that comes with the touring because of the agent and everything that they're setting up in those states, in those places. But I have a single that I'm getting ready to release here in, maybe I want to say, could be the end of July, early August. Because my birthday, I'm a Leo, by the way, for those who don't know. I'm not going to tell my birthday because I want it to be like a surprise, or I can utilize it for something later. But in August, I want it to come out, and it's a song with Mr. Hanky. I don't know if you know Mr. Hanky. Mr. Hanky is he's the producer that created I'm Living My Best Life. That song. He has a song out right now with the City Girls Twerkulator. He did those songs. And let me see, a lot of Gucci, a lot of Lil Jon stuff. You know, I think all of Soulja Boy's beginning songs he had dealings with. So he's an A-list, you know, producer. He's very respected. He has a lot of hits people don't realize that he has done. I've been working with him for a while, and we have this song called Let's Make Moves that we're getting ready to push. We just finished the video up last week, and we first started in Puerto Rico, and we did it on the beach, and it was like a 3-day shoot. We had like 3 days, three different days we had to shoot it. You know, I had to go to Atlanta, shoot me in his part, and finished up here in Houston with the Junker Band. So I don't want to give too many secrets away because it's coming. You know, it's coming. But this one's definitely for my culture, for the Bahamas culture. So I'm really excited. It's called Let's Make Moves.
All right.
Let's Make Moves. Man, if you can, please go to my website, zamaryauw.com. Just basically, you know, spell out my name, just put that .com behind it. And definitely check out my merch, man. My merch just came in. This is the logo, my name's logo, Zamar. It has, you know, the heartbeat because I believe I put the heartbeat in the music, you know.
Nice.
But this here is my Yauw logo, right here. We have face masks, you know, gotta stay safe. You see how it has the the palm trees with the
That's nice.
Y, sun in the back. And if you notice, the material on it is amazing. It's actually popping off of the material. So it's some really good quality stuff. Here's the black version of it, which I believe is, it's pretty cool, And the shirts would have this, on there. Like I have the normal black shirts and the white shirts, and then also I have a different one where the colors, they're I don't know if it's called translucent, like the colors, like it's like it change as it moves, it change. So I have that version as well. Crop tops for women, and sleeveless shirts for the summertime. So yeah, man, if y'all can, show love but yeah, man, my merch, I'm out here doing my thing, and the support from you guys is definitely well needed, and everybody that's listening in, I just want to say I appreciate you guys, and I thank you for the support, because it helps me do what I love to do, and continue to give you guys what you love to hear. So, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. Perfect. That's a perfect way to end it. Links to Lovers Boulevard and everything else can be found in the show notes. Indie Echo is a product of High Five Music, a digital production studio that brings your bedroom demos to life. If you want your music produced or remixed, visit the link on my Instagram @High5Music, and you can follow the show @Indie Echo Podcast. Thank you for listening.